The road to success is rarely a straight line. It's full of twists and turns, detours, redirections, hills and valleys. So join us on the path to success as we explore people's personal journeys. Come be encouraged, informed, and empowered to reach your dreams. Hi, welcome to the Path to Success podcast, and I'm excited today just about our episode and our guests. And as the opening says, the road to success is really a straight line. It's twists, it's turns, it's ups and downs, it's detours. And that's so, kind of applicable with our guest today, who is Briana Garrett.
Yes, hi.
And Briana is a professional makeup artist.
Mm-hmm.
She's a YouTuber. Mm-hmm. She creates social media content. And she is also my daughter.
Yeah, this is my father.
So, but with her twist and turn, for years, Briana we invested in a career of dance. Mm-hmm. Dance Theater Harlem, Alvin Ailey, Princeton Ballet, Ballet Hispanico.
Rutgers Mason Groves.
Exactly. You
graduate,
have
bachelor's in dance.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we were focused and excited and ready for this career of professional dance, and it took twists and turns. So I guess take us back there as we talk. Mm-hmm. You're graduating, dancing. You're preparing for things on Broadway.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So dancing since I was 5 years old, all the way till 21 years old. When I went to college to study dance, I was working at Sephora. And that was just to have some pocket change. Yes. Like, go out with your friends. And while I worked there for 4 years, it turned into a new, relationship. Like, you start to learn about cosmetics and product and customer relations. And I remember I was at Sephora and they said, okay, do you want to learn skincare, makeup, or fragrance? And I picked makeup. And not knowing that 4 years later, I'd be able to do someone's entire face, foundation, eyeshadow, lashes, this whole transformation. And I remember graduating and I really enjoyed doing makeup. It was just something I didn't even know I could do, that I would want to do. And I taught dance the year after graduation.
That's right.
I did teach a year. And that was okay. Not for me.
So after graduating, here's 4 years of makeup and the passion and the love there, and then the dance, career, and it just wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same in terms of I was auditioning my senior year. I taught dance right after, and I think the love and the passion for makeup kind of exceeded dance. Not that I ever was I'm never going to dance again. Right. But just I want to explore another path of something that I'm good at and I really enjoy doing. So after graduation, I just really dove into cosmetics, the retail space. I worked at Nordstrom for 2 years for Laura Mercier. And Laura Mercier was all about training you in artistry. Okay. So we would have 2 to 3 trainings a year where it was this is how the application of this goes and this is the Laura Mercier way. And they were more in depth in how to really perfect your client in their makeup, perfecting the canvas of whoever's sitting in your chair.
So now, so I'm a guy, right? So, I don't get into the makeup thing that much.
Right. I do guys' makeup. Males get makeup.
Nowadays,
they
that is true?
Yes.
I was going to say, you probably did it when you were a little kid and putting, makeup on.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But the client interaction piece of it, talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, so it's retail, so of course there's customer service and customer experience. So how that person feels, greeting them when they walk in the door, because I'm selling the makeup to them. But there's also the client who comes in specifically they're here to get their makeup done. So that aspect of the job is very different than trying to sell them something. It's more of seeing after you do their makeup, their confidence, the transformation of how they feel, and them feeling their best self, looking their best self. People will say, you're a magician, you're a wizard. And I'm no, I'm just able to look at you and see what's going to compliment you the best. And that is so rewarding because I've had women come in I've had a rough day, like telling me about their lives, and they're like, I just need a pick-me-up. And the pick-me-up was the makeup.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even thinking about that here, but here you're saying I'm looking at this person, this woman who may not even see the beauty, the value that's in her, and then you being able to pull that out of them.
Yeah, it's so key because you can make it just about the makeup. There's so many people who they just come in, they do their makeup and they leave, they walk in the door, give me my tip, and that's it. But me, I see every interaction with every single person that sits in my chair. It's not about what I put on you, but it's also what's in you. So like, women would be like, not only did you do my makeup, like I feel uplifted. Like I feel better than when I walked in. There would be people who would just come and we would just talk, and I would be doing their makeup and we're just talking, and it's like you build a relationship with these people where it's a real connection, and that is beautiful. Like I enjoy that so much. Yeah.
So, you know, your training, education about the makeup, the application, you're working on your client interaction skills. I'm assuming, you know, the artistry part of it.
Yeah.
Right? That you're improving that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yes. So that's a whole nother, because you end up working with different skin tones, different ages of women. So everybody that sits in your chair is not going to get the same treatment. Like, bottom line. So you might have to add a little bit more of like this moisturizer, add a little bit more of this product here, because their skin might be lacking in one way or the other. So that's also too, it's like tailor making the experience to the specific person that you're interacting with.
Right, and you said treatment, you mean kind of the application of products that you use. They all get this fantastic customer service, but the application,
what I use on them might not be the same as what I use on a 20-year-old versus a 40-year-old. You know, different skin types, different concerns that they have. So yeah, you tailor make how you do their makeup to what they are looking for. So
I should know this, but I'm embarrassed. I don't know off the top of my head. So how many, you graduate, you're working for someone else for a number of years, and then you made the transition to now where you run your own successful business.
Yeah, so
when did that happen? Talk about that.
Yeah, so I worked at Nordstrom for 2 years after graduation, and I remember from working at Sephora and Nordstrom, there would be these women that would come in. They didn't work for the store, they worked for the actual makeup brand. Okay. And they'd come in when they wanted, they'd stay however long they want, like they were living a life. And I'm like, how do we get this job? I'm like, because they're making way more too. Right. And it really was talking to every single brand rep that came into the store, introducing yourself. My name's Briana, them seeing your artistry, just really building a relationship and networking. And I remember I was talking to the Lord, and I was like, I don't want to be in the store anymore, because cosmetics was kind of like on that slow decline of like, there weren't people coming into the store. So I was just like, man, Lord, okay, I really want to go out on my own and have my own clients, work for whoever I want, like make my own schedule. And there was one day, I literally can remember, we were coming from church, me and my husband, Damon, and the Lord was like, go into Nordstrom and quit tomorrow. And I was like, wait. And this was Christmas time. So like Christmas is the busiest time. You make the most money in Nordstrom. Yes. And it was so clear as day. And I told Damon, he was like, all right. So I remember going into Nordstrom, right? And I go to my boss, who used to be my mom's old boss. Right, yeah. From when she used to work at Nordstrom. And I was just like, you know, like, thank you so much for the time, the experience. But, you know, I'm giving my 2 weeks. And they were like, well, we knew you were going to leave. You weren't showing up to work. And just like tried to like come at my whole being. Yes. And I was like, okay, and it was almost like confirmation to me, okay, it's time to leave. Because it wasn't, hey, we wish you the best. Thank you for your time. It was almost like they were like, well, yeah, go ahead and leave. And it was the best thing I could have done, because right after I left, it lined it up where I was working with like 3 or 4 different brands. I had hours throughout all of Christmas, like, and it just started to, okay, now the onus was on me, because now you're the one who has to contact the brands. You have to make sure you have hours, and now you've got to work and find your own clients, make your schedule, like, how is it all going to work? And it's a different just mindset. You know,
Yeah,
when you're in a store, schedule's made for you, you get a check every 2 weeks, and this time it was like, okay, you've got more responsibility now.
So is that the entrepreneur business owner mindset?
For sure. Yeah, in terms of where are your clients going to come, where are you going to market yourself, how are you going to build relationships now with new customers, because now I'm not just in one store. When you're a freelancer, you go to 5, 10 different locations and you're meeting new people all the time. So how do I make every single location that I enter a networking opportunity? How do I, you know, so I would pass out my business cards. I'm telling people, hey, I do bridal makeup, I take private appointments, and from there it kind of just opened up the possibilities of now, okay, you own your own business.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know you've done some exciting things. I know you've done some commercial stuff.
Yeah.
And what's one or two exciting things?
So it was a commercial, and I use this website called Thumbtack, which is great for entrepreneurs and business owners who want to get new clients. So I'm on Thumbtack. I'm telling you, it was like a 9 o'clock at night kind of thing. This guy writes in and he's like, I need a makeup artist for a commercial. I think it was at like Ford dealership.
Car dealership.
And he was like, can you come tomorrow? So like we're going back and forth at like 9 o'clock at night, and he's like, yeah, my makeup artist couldn't make it. Can you come? So I go in, and I mean, it was almost like you were on a television set, because it was like green screen, the lights, like everything, and I was doing a man. There was no women. So,
you're not going to do my man.
So I do the man. I'm only doing one person.
Right.
I'm just like powdering him, evening out the skin complexion. And it was so awesome just to see how everything goes into it. So that was a really cool experience. And I work with a photographer in Jersey City.
Okay.
Her name's Jacqueline Medlock, and she does a lot of headshots for dancers, actors, people who are graduating and going into like Broadway, auditioning and things like that. So I've been working with her now for the past like 2 or 3 years, and that's a whole nother experience too, because the makeup that you do for someone who's going to a party versus someone who's taking headshots and a photo shoot is different. So learning that kind of application, and you know, it's more matte, it's a little bit more subtle, it's not too much in your face. I mean, just those opportunities help you see just, okay, this is what's needed here, this is what we do here, and you're just growing in the artistry aspect of it.
Now, I thought I remember, didn't you do an elaborate wedding with like live animals or something that?
So that was, it was an Indian wedding.
Uh-huh.
So how they do is their wedding is like 2 to 3 days. So we had done their makeup. I think this one was 2 days. So we did the makeup the first day for the bride. Second day we come around, we're doing a completely new look, and they had flown in elephants. Or I don't know, do you fly them in or you ship them in? Whatever.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, we've got elephants and we're gonna walk, because they have just traditions. So that type of style of makeup too is completely different. I mean, their jewelry and what they wear is so elaborate. So having the makeup complement that also too is different than someone who's going to a bat mitzvah, you know, or something like that. So yeah, that was cool experiences.
Just an interesting thought that I was just thinking, just the creative side from the dance, you know, and you were saying just how, you know, the woman, the client, she's that canvas, and you're seeing how did that bring that out. I always thought, is there a parallel to that, to the dance when you're choreographing and things like that?
Yeah, so I remember for our senior year in college, we had to create our own pieces. So you had to create a piece for yourself. You had to create a piece of other dancers. You had to do the costuming, the lighting, if you wanted backdrops, you know, props or anything like that. So as a choreographer, yes, you're in the space and you're like, okay, the space is the canvas. Like, what are the bodies gonna look like? Who's gonna fill it? And what are they gonna wear? Like, what's the lighting? What's the whole mood that you want? And I think, yeah, the parallel is when a person sits down in your chair, you get all this information from them. Where are you going? What are you wearing? What time of day is your event? You know, does it go from day to night? So the makeup, you want to translate if the lighting changes, what they're wearing, what's their skin type like, are you oily, are you dry, like what's your makeup going to look like in 3 hours? So it's the same kind of analyzing going on, you're choreographing and the choreography might take weeks, but with a makeup artist, you got an hour when you're doing someone in the chair. So the time is cut short, but yes, you are analyzing, okay, what am I going to use on this client? What's going to work best for them, and what's going to complement them the best too.
I guess, the space that you're in, the client interaction, the artistry, and having your own business doing that. As we're talking to our audience, on our podcast, what kind of key things would you share and communicate with them?
Yeah. The first thing would be no fear, because let's say you're working in the retail space and you want to jump and have your own business, have your own clients. The fear is that, where is my next check going to come from?
Sure.
Where are the hours going to come from? Benefits, like, the main things that we think of. And the reality is that you've just got to go for it. You've got to bet on yourself. And as faith people that we are, we know that God's leading our steps. So, but just go, just do it. Like, start working. I mean, now more than ever, I've been able to just work with different models. I bring people in the house, quarantine rules apply.
Yes.
But
you have a strict
COVID protocol.
Yes,
and I just say, okay, I want to up my artistry. I want to challenge myself. What are the new looks that I want to do? So I bring in people and I say, okay, you're not going to do the same thing. You're going to try a new look that you saw another makeup artist do. So it's really pushing yourself and challenging yourself. Like, you're not up against anybody else but you. Go after what you've been longing to do. Because then you'll look back and you'll say, I should have did that 5 years ago. I should have did that 10 years ago. Or you look back and you're still in the same place, and it's like, how have you grown? How have you challenged yourself? And, even entering into the social media YouTuber, and I'm nowhere near like this big YouTuber, but in terms of just consistency, keep creating the content, keep tagging the brands, keep trying the new product, sharing it with the audience that you do have, whether that's 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers or subscribers. Keep going, because someone's gonna find you, someone's gonna see you, and someone's gonna say, that's who we want to work with.
The podcast is Path to Success. And you said something that just really clicked for me, that during this COVID time where, things have been impacted, you've still stayed busy. You're using that time to recreate, to challenge yourself, to stretch yourself.
Yeah.
I'm in the software industry,
right,
and we are saying those same things to companies, right? Hey, during this downtime, refocus, right? Modernize, leverage new technology, right? Be prepared to interact more successfully in this remote digital environment.
Right.
And we've been saying that for years, but this season really reinforced that message. So it's interesting to see that same concept across different industries.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I'm doing, I'm trying to be the photographer, the videographer, the makeup artist, and the editor. The people are doing this. They're doing everything, and they're teaching themselves. So there's no excuse for not taking the chance, learning something new, and going out and really applying what you learn.
I like that. I think that's what we should wrap up, right? There is no excuse for not challenging yourself, for growing, right? For taking advantage of opportunity, and no fear.
Yeah, no fear.
Well, Briana, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Boris.
Thank you for attending and participating on the Path to Success podcast.
Yeah.